today's episode of Afro Scientific Spirituality. My name is Remains West. If this is your first time on the channel, you're highly welcome. This is a place where we separate the facts from the fiction, the science from the superstitions, and the concepts from the misconceptions about African spirituality. Today, I want to talk about the difference between a practitioner of African spirituality and a Babalawo, somebody that you will call a native doctor or a priest or a priestess. And we need to be clear about this part so we can understand what is African spirituality, what it entails, and when you are in the practice, you will know exactly where you are in the practice and your aspirations, what you want to be, what you want to aspire to, or the way you want to practice is very important. In African spirituality, as you know, first of all, we need to define it. It is simply the spirituality of African people. It is the native, original, authentic spiritual practices of African people, which is simply the way African people interact with nature, their understanding of their surroundings, of divinity. This is their own way of understanding what is nature and how to live in harmony in nature with nature. So this is simply African spirituality. Okay, every people on this planet, every race have theirs. We have Chinese people, they have their own Chinese spirituality, is their own understanding of nature. We have people in other parts of the world, like in Latin America, or we say the Native American people, which are also black people, of course, they have their own understanding. The Aztec people, they have their own spirituality, their understanding of nature. Every race, every tribe has their own viewpoint, their own outlook of nature. So it's their own spirituality. Japanese spirituality is there. Thailand spirituality or Buddhism, the spirituality of some Asian people, their own outlook or understanding of life and the planets. We in Africa, we have our own. So this is simply what we call African spirituality. Okay, so when you want to practice this, it needs to be authentic. You have to try to get in touch with the knowledge or the understanding of how it is practiced by ancient African people, and it has to be undiluted. Nowadays, you see a lot of people in Nigeria claiming to practice African spirituality. You will see a shrine. The next thing, you will see a Bible inside the shrine. You will see a cross inside an African shrine. You will see picture of Jesus Christ or Catholic saints inside African shrine. That is not an authentic African spiritual practice because it is being diluted, or it has been infiltrated, or it has been polluted by Western influence. If you go to any shrine and you see somebody claiming to be a practitioner, a master of African spirituality, a priest or a Babalawo, and he has a Bible on his shrine, or he's quoting from Bible and using Bible to mix spells, we have it a lot. Just know that this person is mixing his practice with African spirituality, is mixing it with something. It is not 100% pure. It is not 100% authentic anymore. Now, a lot of people do this. Why do they do this? If you come to Nigeria, we see some people that call themselves white garment churches. Let me just call them Sele. They wear white garments, they go to church, they claim to be Christians. At the same time, they practice African spirituality, they mix the two together. This is the way those people practice. Everybody know them. There's a good thing and a bad thing to this. The good thing is that there are some places whereby African spirituality is heavily persecuted. Even till today, it is still heavily persecuted. Not many people can be able to come out boldly in public and say they practice African spirituality. They fear people will orchestrate them. They fear their family members will isolate them. They fear they will lose their job, they will lose their position. And it normally happens. The church and other evil people that plans to destroy African spirituality will persecute you. So for those kind of people, they will go into this kind of churches. And of course, they will carry their Bible, and then they will be going to church and say they are going to church. They will be doing something on that. We know that prayer does not work. Prayer is a very useless thing. If prayer actually works, Africa will be the best, the most advanced, and the most wealthy place on the planet today. That means, by that I mean, you will see the rapid development of ancient Egypt will be bosoming on the continent today. The amount of prayer we pray in this continent every day, and yet people are still suffering. Prayer is the most useless thing any African person can do. It does not work. And some Africans have known this. So you see them going to church, that they'll be practicing African spirituality in the backyard. I've seen this a lot. So many Christians I know, they are closet practitioners. And I know the number of Christians that contact me daily, especially pastors, on this channel to ask me to do spell for them. I am not the kind of person that talk about other people's secret. I maintain 100% of clients' confidentiality. I don't say things people tell me. If I say a lot of things, ground will shake. So I know a lot of pastors have contacted me, and they keep contacting me for spell. So I know their prayer does not work. If it works, they will not contact me for help. And most times I don't do anything. I don't work for pastors because I know most of them are very wicked and evil people. So I'm here to expose the truth. I only advise them to get a better job and stop deceiving people. Okay? So when you see people mixing stuff, normally when I see people mixing African spirituality, I'm not happy. I'm not happy because this evil spirit, this evil Christian spirit, most of these people mixing it, they have evil spirit inside them. You don't need to mix it with Christianity. If you want to say, okay, during the time of slave trade, at transatlantic slave trade, where people were taking from Africa to Haiti to America to work in plantations, into Brazil, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, those islands in the American continent, in order for them to preserve their African spirituality, they changed many things. They blend it with the Christian sense. That is how you see that fusion of Christianity and African spirituality in Haiti. There's that fusion there. We see many African orishas. You see the counterpart in Christianity. They use it to hide it so that they can maintain the practice, so that they will not be persecuted. But this modern day now, nobody is really persecuting you. You don't need to hide like that anymore. Nobody's going to come to burn your house or to cut off your head or to throw you in prison because you practice African spirituality. We don't need that anymore. So why are many people, some of them, still referring to the Bible to do African spiritual work? This is a major bone of contention. One reason is that it's for monetary gain, and other reason is to deceive people, to let people feel that there's a safe form of African spirituality. This is the safe one. As far as you call God and Jesus inside the spell, it is okay. You are working with the right spirits. They believe this kind of mentality. I see many African spiritualists, or so-called, that they still believe that Jesus Christ is the ultimate power. These are totally brainwashed people. Some of them are very, very stupid. And a lot of them, of course, are spiritual illiterates. This is something that most people don't want to talk about, but we have a lot of spiritual illiterates all over the place. So, as a practitioner, you need to know when you want to practice African spirituality, it must be authentic. It must not be polluted by religion. Okay, those people asking you to read this, pray with Psalm and pray with blah, blah, blah. I don't do all those stuff. Even if some of the Psalms were still written in ancient Egypt, I have done a video on that, but I don't really need that. What I bring to the table when my practice is my heart and my mind. I was an African before any books were written. My parents that gave birth to me, their parents that gave birth to them. They are an African, they have the African spirit inside them. I am maintaining that chain. Right now it's my turn to continue that legacy by putting my 2 feet on the earth. This legacy must not be polluted. Okay, I cannot pollute it with Christianity. I cannot poison it with Christianity. It doesn't make sense for me. Okay, I have to practice the authentic African spirituality that is in my blood and my DNA, which is my birthright. I have to represent myself. I have to represent the whole team. That is what I am standing on. So I don't pollute my practice, and I don't pollute it. For you to pollute your practice with Christianity, it means that you are not 100% confident in your African spiritual practice. You don't think it will work. You still you need help from the slave master's religion. You want to join forces with them. A lot of people do this kind of nonsense. Inside that the same Bible, it's not there they say you cannot worship God and Mammoth. You put one leg for here, you put one leg for there, you don't know the one way you go walk. You dey shake like leaf. And not be that kind of person. You need to pick a stand. You want to practice African spirituality, or you want to practice your Christianity. Which one are you loyal to? Where does your loyalty rise? We need to know this kind of things. From my own experience about African spirituality, the spirit we walk in, they don't like disloyalty, and they will not really bless you much. Or if your mind is shaking, if you don't trust them, or if you don't have the belief or the confidence that this thing will work for you 100%. Okay, you need to be firm, and you need to understand that this mixing, a lot of people that do this mixing stuff, I have come across them. I see a lot of them. They have, I don't like the kind of spirits inside them. They have bad spirits inside them. They have deceitful spirits, and many of them are having issues. When you practice in African spirituality, then you are neglecting your social or your social or your corporate responsibilities to nation and your fellow humans, thinking that by neglecting your responsibilities and you practicing your spirituality, you are going to overcome or succeed. It doesn't work like that. African spirituality is a very, very practical approach to life and nature. You must be responsible to yourself. You must be responsible to your environment and to people around you. You must be seen to be adding value to the life of everybody and even to nature. You must be seen to be adding value. You must not be seen to be neglecting your responsibility, wasting time praying, wasting time giving offerings, when you're supposed to be doing some practical things that will actually effect change in this physical universe. Okay, so if anybody is deceiving you that you can easily just be in your room, do a spell without doing any work, then your life will change automatically. It does not really work like that too. Okay, you are stretching the envelope. If you need job, you have to make sure that you have a skill, and of course you advertise the skill, and you do your rites or your rituals, and you go out and look for the job. If you need girlfriend, you cannot lock yourself inside your room that you're doing love spell for somebody to locate you inside a cave. After doing your love spell, of course, you still have to go out and meet people. There's a fee that day. You will still go inside and present yourself and assert yourself for people to see you, or you go on your dating app, then you chat with people. You must still do something at the end of the day, something physical that will effect that change must come into play. Most times the spells we do is to move some little blockages out of the way, to give you that opportunity to bring that prosperity into your life. But you need to be ready to take advantage of the opportunity when it comes. If you are not ready, you will lose the opportunity and you will lose that very thing. So African spirituality is something that is practical. There's nothing evil about it. In Africa, when you say you practice African spirituality, they look you with evil eyes, because there's a lot of negative connotations that these people, they are bad people. Over the years, Christianity have done its best to demonize African spirituality, so that a lot of Africans hate the practice. They hate themselves. They are suffering from deep inferiority complex. They are suffering from a lack of knowledge of self. They are suffering from hatred and confusion. So they don't even know what African spirituality is. When you mention it, people run away. And the few people that we see that practice this stuff say, okay, let's watch these people. You find out that they are practicing the wrong thing. A lot of people are practicing tradition. They are not practicing spirituality. A lot of people are practicing archaic, superstitious beliefs that does not make total sense. So a lot of people are confused. I don't blame people why people run to Christianity, because when you look, most of the practitioners, more than 90% of African spirituality practitioners, I don't even know what they are practicing. There's flawed in the practice. Those are the things I want to talk today. This is part of the reason I have to open this channel, to re-explain this topic for people to understand what is going on. If you have been watching me for quite some time now, at least 3-4 months, you have been watching my videos, you have watched more than 20-50 of my videos, you would have been able to form an idea of what African spirituality entails, what it means, what the topic really is. I've been able to detail and dissect a lot of things, to expose a lot of misconceptions. Okay, it is simply the way of life of an African. As an African, you need to believe in yourself. You need to see things from that force, that life force that is emanating you, that gives you life. You need to try to understand the philosophy of this thing that is animating you. This is simply African spirituality. Once you can understand this, have a good basic understanding of it, then you also know your history as an African. You are already practicing African spirituality. It is not by going to shrine to dance every day. You dance every day, go to your home. Dancing is good, but there are many things we have responsibility to do in this planet. We need to build this planet. We need to build a strong community. We need to plan not only for our present lifetime, but for future lifetime. So we have work to do. Where I saw a lot of practitioners, all they do is to gather and dance and eat, gather and dance and eat. They don't plan how to move the practice forward. This is my issue with a lot of traditionalists. They just keep repeating outdated tradition in a circle again and again and again. No new innovation, no way forward, no vision. This is why many of them are poor. When you go to many of the places, see many of they're struggling, because they have locked their brain to innovation. They have locked their brain to ideas to develop the practice. This is what I am standing against. As African spiritualists, we need to upgrade our spiritual practice with modern times. We need to adapt to change. We need to amend deities that don't serve us. We drop them. We need to create new deities. We need to keep reinventing the practice to suit the modern day and time. This is the way ancient Kemetic people were practicing their spiritual practice. You see them changing gods all the time. If a god is no longer necessary, they have been able to achieve what they want. That's very God that they are venerating, they have been able to impart that quality into themselves. They don't need it anymore. They move on to a new deity. You must grow spiritually. When I started, I have come across so many spirits. I keep moving. I move from spirits. When I work with a particular deity, I venerate them for a particular time. After I have gotten the lessons, I have learned what I need to learn, I move on to another deity. In some of my videos, I have talked about my journey in the spiritual path. I have come across a lot of spirits, a lot of others, a lot of people. I moved ahead of them, because there's no, spirituality just doesn't entail you tying down. You must progress. You must move forward. Okay, I have been through many teachers. You don't need to get stuck. When you have learned what this person needs to teach you, you have absorbed all this knowledge, you move to the next person. Life is a continuous process. Okay, there are many altars I have destroyed. I usually change altars when I have venerated a particular spirit for a particular time. As my life moves, I move to the next one. Then before you know, another spirit will appear when it's time. When this certain spirit comes, I start venerating that spirit, working with them until another one will come. So when you incorporate the qualities of these deities inside you, you need to move to another one. Okay, There are some that you might say, okay, this deity is like maybe your guardian angel or your guardian spirit. You are supposed to be working with them for a long time, or it's a deity that is part of you. You can stay with them, and you don't need to move anymore. You have that means you have met your, let me say, twin flame, or you have met the right spiritual guide for you. Both of you will start working together, doing things together, communicating. But most times, especially during the part of the students, you will meet a lot of spirits, okay, and you will move through a lot of them. Some are not necessary, some you are supposed to just know them, learn something, and you move forward. This is the way it is. So African spirituality, you must innovate, okay. You don't have to be stuck. If it's a particular deity or something is not working for you, you are free to move on, okay. You are free to move on, and you explore, you learn. We are here to learn, to gather knowledge physically and spiritually. This is how we grow, okay. That's why we have so many teachers. Even from the bad people that do bad things to you, you also learn from them. They are also teachers as well. You learn from everybody. You add all this knowledge together. You build a base. You build a foundation. You build your body of wisdom, your knowledge, and you move. When you have gathered a lot of experience, you start teaching other people. You can be able to push them in the right path because you have been there before. You have seen this, experienced so many things. You have tried so many things, probably failed so many times, so you know what works and what do not work. So you are in a better position to advise people, to guide people in the right paths. Okay, so this is the practice of African spirituality. It should not be a tied-down practice. It should not be something that is repetitive, and it should not be something that is polluted. Okay, it should not be polluted, especially with Christianity and Islam. So this is the way I see it. Then for who is a Babalawo or a priest? A Babalawo or priest or Sangoma or Dibia in Igbo. These are people, spiritual people. These are people that have been choosing to do spiritual, to be interceding for other people. The word Babalawo means father of secrets. These are people that may have been chosen by the gods or the ancestors, or their destiny is to bring people into the knowledge of spirituality, to guide them, to use their spiritual knowledge to help people, to protect people, and to defend people, of course. We have these people called Babalawo. Most of them, they are healers. They study herbs. Many of them have affiliations with different kind of deities. They have very close contact with the spirits, the elemental spirits, ancestral spirits, and they know a lot of things due to this contact, because there's always exchange and interactions. And some of these people, they have different type of psychic gifts. Some of them are visionaries. Some of them are extra sensitive. Some of them, they just have different gifts that they have. Most times, for you to be a Babalawo, or you must be given a certain gift that you can use to help people or assist them. Means you have a purpose to guide people, to protect people, and of course to preserve and also develop the knowledge of African spirituality or whatever is given to you, to advance it, and also to pass it on, to teach it on to other people. So a practitioner of African spirituality can be a Babalawo, can be a priest, can be a native doctor. Okay, there are people that are choosing for this kind of paths. If it is your destiny as an African spiritual practitioner to be this, to become a Babalawo or Dibia, you will know it will come. This practice will come naturally to you. It will come naturally to you, and you will not have any difficulty, or you will not see any issues in the practice. Okay, if you are not called, but you are an African, the practice of African spirituality will still favor you. Not everybody is called to be a Babalawo or to be a priest, because the responsibilities are too much, are too heavy. Not everybody can do it, in as much as many people we like to be. Not everybody can be able to keep secrets. Number one, you want to practice, you must be able to keep secrets. There are certain things you want to do, you must be very, very sensitive. You must have a certain gifts. Okay, and if you have this gift, the spirits too, they're going to push you in this line. If you are supposed to do this thing to become a practitioner, a Babalawo, you cannot live a normal life. If you like, you run to anywhere, any part of the world, you will be drawn to these parts. Okay, no matter how much money you have, no matter wherever you are, you will always be drawn to this part. And for some of us, things will not really go well for you in the normal life until you come back to the spiritual parts. Things will not be going well for you. We try to blend in, to be like everybody else. You find yourself always out of place. You find yourself not even being interesting. When you try to get a job, you will be having difficulty at the job, or people will be frustrating. If you are making money, you will not still be happy with that thing you are doing because it's not your line. You will find yourself deviating from that very thing to do the spiritual work. I have a friend that works in a bank, and when he finds himself doing the bank, before you know, he starts meditating, or he will start seeing vision for people that comes to do banking work. He doesn't know it. The thing is just blending in, flashing in from time to time, until eventually he has to quit the bank job. So when you are called to do this part, different things might happen to you. You might find yourself passing through a lot of difficulty. You have a lot of spiritual attacks, of course. You will probably find yourself having sort of difficult life at first. Part of the difficulty you're going to encounter is for you to be strong. If you have not passed through some kind of experience, you may not be able to know how to help people. So being a Babalawo or a priest, it's not an easy thing. It's not for everybody. I know many people that practice African spirituality wish to be, but if you are really called to be, it will be easy for you. I've come across many people that are called to these paths. Before 2-3 months, spirits already start visiting them. A lot of times, people that come to my program tell me it is spirits that tell them to join the program. Their own spirits. We visit them, we push them in the room, or we tell them, you need to register for this program. This is how I get students. So I don't worry about canvassing for students like that. People that will come that need this knowledge at the right time, they are going to find me, and they will get the knowledge. I will do my best to teach them all what I know, all what I can be able to teach them, to push them to the next level of their own spiritual evolution. This is how it works. So if you are called to be a Babalawo and this is your destiny, you will always find the path. Okay, you must find the way back to the lights, because eventually, whatever you are doing, you are going to get tired of it. If you are in Christian, going to church, fooling yourself one day, you're going to wake up and you will find the path back. So I'm not worried about that. So for people that are practicing, not all of us can be priests. Okay, everybody have different talents. Some people talents are singing, some of them are acting, some of them are computer, some of them are comedy. We have different talents. You can excel as an African spiritual practitioner. It doesn't mean you must certainly be a priest. You have your talent. Every human have a gift that they came to do in this life. So what African spirituality will actually do for you, it will help you to discover that your gift quickly. You can do divination, or by practicing that very thing that is inside you, the spirits of those things will start visiting you. They will start coming to you. This is your talents. Once you discover your talents, you have to focus on that field. Basically, our talent is to help people and to bring joy and happiness to this world. Once you focus on your talent, you're already doing your work. There are people that's very popular, footballers. Just by playing football, they have been able to do so many great works in the life. That is their talent. This is what they are there to do. So you cannot say, okay, I want to do something. If you are good at something, you do it. Let people know you for that. You will excel. You practice your spirituality, and you focus on your talents. So everybody have different talent. Not all of us are called to become priests or Babalawos in the practice. You have to discover your talents. Then you have to focus on it. Okay, that is the way you can be able to bring out your full capacity or become your greatest version or do that very thing that you were sent to do on this planet. Okay, so they say many are called, few are choosing, but you need to know yourself first. I tell people, whatever you are doing, try to know yourself. In the study or practice of African spirituality, when a person starts this journey of self-discovery, a lot of things happen in their life. A lot of changes, a lot of internal changes will happen within that person. Those changes will change your mindset and your orientation. Once you can be able to change it to see yourself as a living deity, to see yourself as a force of nature, to see yourself in your own lights, in the eyes of your ancestors, in the eyes of an authentic African. You have completed like 70% of your journey already. For you to just have this change of mindsets to know yourself as an African, you have completed 70% of this life journey. Not everybody can be able to reach this level to know who they are as an individual. We have a lot of people that will live their whole life from birth to death, 70, 80 years. They don't even know who they are. They don't even know anything about life. They just die. It's like they were never here. We have a lot of them still roaming around. These people have been cloned, brainwashed, thoroughly brainwashed. We have them in every family. Nothing we can do. We just look at these ones and weep. And they think they are living life, but then they have not even waking up to the reality of life. We have a lot of people like this. So for you to be able to know yourself, to have this consciousness to this level that you even want to sit in this channel and listen, you have completed 70%. The rest is just some little thing that's just tweaking to push you in the right direction. Okay. Now, for the essence of who we are as a people, life is it's not about the destination. Actually, it's about the journey. If we already know what will happen tomorrow, we already know when we are going to die, we already know when we are going to make our first $1 million, or we already know everything, this life will not be fun anymore. There'll be no fun where you already know, okay, I'm going to die when I'm 95. I will be a millionaire when I'm in 2 years' time. What is the point of hustling? We are here to play the game of life, whether you like it or not. Life is a game to a certain extent, and so far the bad guys are winning because they have been able to snatch a lot of things from you, to hoodwink you so that they can be feeding on you. You need to understand that why is it set like this. Your spirit need to mature. You are here to reawaken that God self that maybe we didn't wake up in the previous lifetime. We are here to connect the dots together, and we are here to create a solid foundation for the union of the spirits and the body, mind over matter, or mind plus matter. So it's about the journey of self-discovery. It doesn't matter when you wake up, whether you got this knowledge when you're young or when you are old. The main thing is that, did you get it before you cross over? Did you really realize your purpose as a human being before you cross over? If you did not, meaning you failed the test this lifetime, or you didn't get it, you failed the process, you might have to restart again. So not everybody we get to that level of whereby you want to be like a Sangoma or a Sia. You want to be able to be communing face to face with the spirits and be doing rites like a Babalawo, having a shrine whereby you instantly talk every day with the deities. You will get to that level if you keep practicing, but it's not for everybody. Some of us need to be kept in the dark from time at a certain time, so that we can be able to live our life, to experience life by ourselves, to form our own opinion. When you begin to make contact with deities, you get robbed of your physical interaction with other human beings. You get robbed of it, and you will not really experience life that much. There's a little bit of ignorance that is needed to experience life in its entirety. A little bit, I will not say just a tiny bit. Sometimes when people that don't make contact with deities or have these spiritual premonitions from time to time, they are even, I would say they are lucky, because a lot of knowledge increases sorrow. There are many things I did when I was in the European, when I don't know anything. Many things, I did a lot of stupid stuff. And I went around traveling, meeting people, even making friends. I have a lot of white friends thinking they are actually good people, trying to fit into the Western society. I made all those mistakes. I ran around a lot with a lot of people. I made friends all over the world, trying to fit in. I didn't know myself. But when I look back at that kind of life, I say if I have known what I know now, I would never have been to so many places. I would never have done so many things. But looking back, I didn't kind of regret it. It was all part of my life experience. There's a reason why the Spirit led me to live that kind of life, to go into Christianity, to be a Mugu Christian, to travel, to be making friends with white people, even dating white women. There's a reason they left me to. They didn't talk to me that time. They left me to do all these shenanigans. I did all of them. I experienced all these things and a lot more. There's a reason. They wanted me to see life with these people, to see how far it can go, to experience life, how it is. Before they came to me, start approaching me, telling me things, and I see the other side of life, and I see, oh, this is what this is where this will get me, this is where this will get me. If this Spirit didn't come to me at that time, probably I would still be stuck in that kind of life I was living, that kind of low-level life. I think I was living high life, but I was actually bringing no value to myself and to it. I was doing anything. I was trying to be anything but African. I was trying to be as white as possible. If they have left me, I'll still be in that level. I'll think I have achieved liberation. The liberation is to have white friends, to be going out with white people, eating where they are eating, dressing like them, doing what they are doing. This is the dream of every Negropean, to integrate into the white society with the aim of marrying a white man or a white woman to complete the integration. I would have been stuck with that mindset. A lot of black people still wish for this because they don't know what is going on. They are still trapped in that kind of mentality whereby they sort of worship white supremacy, and they will do anything and everything to promote white supremacy. So this is their own level of orientation, or what they think, due to the fact that they have no knowledge of self. But it might be there for a reason. When it's time for people to wake up, they will wake up. When it's time for you to wake up, if the deities or the ancestors say you will wake up, you will eventually wake up from that kind of thing. So when you wake up, you already have experience. In my own case, it happened to me. When it's time for me to wake up, I lost interest in all those things, and I woke up and I walked away from it. Now I'm adding value to Africa, to African spirituality. I have been able to do a lot of work. All the years of work I didn't do, I've been able to complete so many things within the shortest possible time. If I don't have those experiences, how will I know how to approach issues? How will I know how to play the game of this African spirituality? How will I know how to push people in the right directions? I cannot even be able to sit here and talk to people because I have no knowledge. What do I want to say? I will have nothing to say because I have no experience. So it's about the journey in a way. So if you find yourself that, oh, I want to talk to spirit, the spirits are not listening to me, I don't know why, I tried it. It may not be your time yet, but keep practicing. One day you will make breakthrough. One day they will start talking to you. You will get progress. You progress from level to level. The level I am now, I was not in this level last year, and I was doing this channel. So I am growing and progressing. You will grow and progress. Don't worry. The person I am now will not be like this next year. You too, practicing, studying this stuff, you also grow with it. Last year, I didn't have this guy as a friend. I didn't have him last year. I didn't even know how to even resurrect this call. I didn't know how to do it. But now I have a new friend now. Before end of year, we have another friend again. You go deeper into the practice. As you go deeper, you're going to meet a lot of spirits, more and more people. As you go deeper, it's like they're enveloping you. You'll be seeing people you have not known before, spirits you have not even spoken to yet, you don't even know they exist. You'll be making contact with them. This is how you grow into practice. So don't feel bad that you have been here for 6 more 5 years. It's not your time yet. Maybe it's not your time yet. When it gets to your time, you don't need to do anything. They say when the disciple is ready, the master will appear. Okay, so just keep living your life and enjoy your so-called a little bit of ignorance, or enjoy your current thing you're enjoying now, because the time will come whereby you might have to be waking up every night to do meditation, to do spiritual work. You might have to have more dedication. A lot of people cannot do that. Me, there's a reason why I'm not yet with a woman. If a lady is with me now, I may not be able to do all these things I'm doing. I have to dedicate time. Of course, I have had many ladies in the past. That time I was still fooling around, but now I have to create time to do this spiritual work. Some of you that say you want to do this stuff, you have families. Can you be able to wake up every night to be doing spell and meditation where you have a family, where you have 3 children to take care of? Not everybody can be priest or Babalawos. Okay? Not everybody. So anywhere, any little capacity you find yourself to practice your African spirituality, practice it in that capacity. There are people that are living with other people that don't have privacy. How can you have a shrine where you don't have privacy? You cannot even light a candle in the room. So it's not yet time. When it's time for you, you will have privacy. Anything you can practice, if it's just to memorize or pour a little bit of libation, be doing that until you will have a bigger opportunity. You can practice anywhere you have. If you cannot do that, you already have the mindset. You read the books. As you're reading, the spirits are coming into you. Okay? So don't feel bad that you are not at that level you want yet. When it's time for you to get there, you will get there. Okay? So please, you will progress. This is a progressive practice. That's why I love African spirituality. It is progressive. It's not static. We're not like Christianity that read the same book again and again and again and again and again. No, it's not like that. You learn from life experience. You learn, you have spiritual experience. As we do rites, you interact, you grow. As you are learning stuff, you grow, you learn new stuff. You interacting with your environment, you using your plant herbs, you eating your natural food, you're trying to learn more about the environment. This, when you get close to the spirits, they also get close to you as well. So you learn every day and you grow every day. Okay? So this is how it should be. The knowledge does not end. It does not have a cap that this is all where you can go. No, there's no limit to this practice. Okay? So this is what I have to say on this topic. A Sangoma, a priest, it's not for everybody. A quantum physicist, even the books we read, some of the books that I have read, not everybody will have time to read them due to life work. You cannot be able to be reading every day where you have to put food on the table for your family. So not everybody can be able to read. I tell people I have studied African history to about 400,000 BCE. How many people will have time to read all those kind of books? In my program, I only recommend 2 history books. We have more than that. We have more than 100, 200 authentic African history books. But I recommend 2. I know many people will not have time. But if you want more books, I will recommend them for you. Not everybody will have time to read. Some people will tell you, I can't even read. I'm too old for that. I just need practical spell work. I just need basic knowledge. Any capacity, there's always something for everybody. If you want to go deeper, to reach like this kind of my level, you will need to do a lot of serious reading, and you need to have a little bit of time on your hands to practice, and you will certainly need privacy. Not everybody can do all these things. Your mind must be free of problems, of life problems that you need to bother. You have to be free in your mind. Like me, I don't think about many things. Okay, I need to create time for this so I can be able to do this work. Not everybody can do this. The kind of life I live, not everybody can be able to live it. Okay, so before you say you want to become a priest, a lot of things will happen to you, and there's a lot of sacrifice, dedication, and devotion. But if you want to practice African spirituality, you can practice it in any capacity that you find yourself. Okay, it will still work for you. As far as you know who you are as an African, it will work for you. You call upon your ancestors, you always call upon them, ask them to guide you, to be protecting you. They will still relate with you, they will still answer you, they will still support you. The main thing is to discover your talents. Once you discover your talent, work with your talents, and there your success and your explosion, your blowing up, how they call it, will happen. Okay, so try to discover your talents. African spirituality will help you do that. Okay, so this is what I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, you can say it now before I close for today. And I hope that I've been able to explain this topic as much as possible for people that really want to understand it. And for you guys watching me today, I thank you very much, and I'm very, very grateful. For people that want to learn African spirituality, this channel is still the best place in West Africa that you will learn it. I don't know about another channel so far. The way I design, the way I dissect this topic, I have not seen anybody breaking it like this. So this is the best place. Register for my program, River of Knowledge. I have a lot of materials, resources that you can draw from, that will teach you, give you a full holistic understanding of African spirituality. We have different practices. You're going to find Orisha, you're going to find Igbe, you're going to find Odinala, the Igbo people own. You're going to find Kandobe, Palomayombe, Santaria, Obie, Kemetic, different. There are so many of them. So you need to know the philosophy, okay? The general philosophy of African spirituality. There's nothing evil about it. When somebody wants to talk down on your practice, you need to know all these things. You need to educate yourself. You need to be spiritually literate, so people don't come to deceive you or tell you things. You need to know what is authentic, what is not. You need to know what works, what do not works. You need to know how to differentiate tradition from spirituality. You need to know all these things. All these are the knowledge that will help you, to grow, that will help you to stand for the truth. And when you see people doing rubbish, you simply tell them, "Come, what you are doing does not make sense." You can be able to correct them, and you can be able to teach. This is the reason why we are here today. This is the reason why it is existing. So please, if you want to learn, register for my program. It's not expensive, okay? Register 6 months. For now, it's $600. You're going to learn a lot of stuff that will empower you. Very powerful stuff that will make you stand on your own feet as a person upon this earth. Not only that, it will empower you, your full generation. You learn this stuff, you can be able to set up your shrine. You start and do your work. You don't need any middleman, okay? You don't need any initiation. It is the spirits that will initiate you by themselves. Me, and they have initiated a lot of people. You don't need to fly to Nigeria. You don't need to fly down. You can learn this from any part of the world, from the comfort of your bedroom. Okay, register for the program. I am here waiting for you. If you still want to read my book on quantum physics and African spirituality, it's here still waiting for you. That's a lot of scientific explanation. Then if you want to do your spell work, love spell, hexes, sparks, the whole 9 yard, I am here. And I want to also say something, please, for those people watching my old videos where I used to talk about Kindoki, I have no affiliation with that Kindoki website. My website is River of Knowledge. That website is a fake website by some people that want to poison African spirituality. They try to influence me. They try to see if they can be able to pollute my message. They did not succeed. I hear they are still hanging that website. I have no business with Kindoki anymore. My website is River of Knowledge, please, okay? You can contact me on this channel. Anybody pretending to be me is not me. I am the only one on this channel, okay? Apart from that, I thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you in the next video as usual. So take care, and peace.